Okay, so before we get started, a good way to remember how to start or do two-step equations is to remember IBS, which means inverse, balance, and simplify. Inverse is the opposite operation that will cancel out the original operation. And a good way to remember it, if I give you $1 and you already have a dollar, how many dollars do you have?
Two.
And if I take away that dollar, you're going to be left with the original amount that you had. So that is how you remember inverse. The second step is balance. So whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. And a good way to remember that is a seesaw. So if you go up, one side must go down. It's not going to just stay in the same position. And then the last step is simplify. So if you have a fraction, you want to put it in its most simple form. So we're going to start off with a little warm-up. Did everyone do that?
No.
No. Okay, well, do that, please. And, okay, so for this one, does anyone know how many operations are involved? Jasmine? Okay, so depending on how many operations we have, which is one in this case, is how many times we're going to repeat IBS. So, to cancel out 3, we want to divide by 3, and we want to balance it. So whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other side. And 3's are going to cancel out, and what's going to be left is n equals 9 over 3. So our last step, which is simplify, 9 over 3 is going to equal 3. So this is our answer for the second equation. The first equation. So our second equation, it also has one operation. So first we're going to do the inverse. The inverse of multiplication is division. And then we're going to balance. So whatever we do to this side, we're going to do to the other side. And in this case, we're dividing by a fraction. So what you want to do is take the reciprocal, which is going to be 2 over 1, times 6. And this is going to equal 12. So this is how we solve one-step equations. Now we're going to move on to two-step equations, which is a little harder, but not really. So our first example is going to be 2n plus 6 equals 24. Does anyone know how many operations are involved in this equation? Diamond?
2.
Okay, so since there's 2 operations, we're going to repeat IBS twice. So first, we want to isolate n. So we're going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. Then we're going to balance it. We're going to subtract it. These are going to cancel out. What's going to be left is 2n equals 18. Then we repeat IBS again. The inverse of multiplication is going to be division. And then we're going to balance it. Whatever we do to this side, we're going to do to this side. So the 2's cancel out. And what we're left with is n equals 18 over 2. Our last step, does anyone know that?
Simplify.
Great. And what we're going to get is n equals 9. Now the variable is not always going to be n. Sometimes it could be x, it could be v. But just know that if it's a letter, it's a variable. And that is how you do, I'm going to do